So having firstly made sure that the prior year figures are right, enter this year's general ledger total figure, and then determine the total of the client's age trial balance at the end of the year, and enter that figure as shown here. You will notice as you enter the figure that the GST in the current year is automatically calculated and put in this cell here. If there's a difference between the client's age trial balance and the general ledger, or you have made entries between the initial client trial balance figure and the final general ledger figure, then make a record of these adjustments or reconciling items below in this line here and following lines. If you need more lines, simply click on the insert arrow and you'll be able to add additional line. Until the detail entered agrees with the general ledger total, any difference will show as a reconciling amount below the general ledger total here. If you believe you have correctly entered or identified all reconciling items and you want to change the general ledger figure, then simply press the smiley here and the program will recalculate the total for the general ledger to agree with your detail. You can, of course, retype the total that you wish the general ledger to be as well. Should any of the client's debtors not have GST in them, then these items should be identified separately, such as export sales will not have GST in them. So separate any such sales out from other debtors so that the GST impact can be correctly analysed. When you've identified and reconciled the general ledger figure, you've almost finished the schedule. The other thing to do is to just make sure that the smart checks are completed to cover other basic items when you're thinking about debtors. The first smart check is to ensure or ask the question, did the listing of accounts receivable agree to the client's general ledger prior to our adjustments? If it did, select yes. If it didn't, you have what is an advice point. You'll notice these are in blue, and an advice point will have appeared at the bottom of your screen here, which I'll just pull up for you. And you have a printout that you can give to a client explaining the importance of reconciling the debtors. The second smart check asks, does the listing of accounts receivable show the age of each account with no large, long outstanding accounts? Yes, it does. Everything's fine. If it didn't, you can select another advice point and it will appear below as well. Have you ensured that all uncollectible accounts have been written off prior to year end? Yes, you have, or if you haven't, you've got yet a third advice point should you wish to do that. You'll notice when we have covered all the smart checks that all the warnings, both warnings, have been eliminated, and we have assurance that there's no difference in debtors reconciliation, and debtor smart checks have